Okay, thank you guys for being here with us for this Essential Oils Masterclass. We have had a lot of fabulous questions about the quality behind doTERRA and why doTERRA, why quality matters. And so I'm Kelsey, and I'm here with my friend Kari. If Kari, you want to say hi?
Hello.
And we are going to just be talking a little bit about the why behind why we chose doTERRA and why the quality is different from just any other essential oil that you'll find in the market. So this is a kind of a funny quote, but try an adulterated oil and then you'll try doTERRA, and I promise you'll see the difference. This is something that I personally have experienced. When I first started trying essential oils, my first encounter with essential oils was actually with doTERRA. And so I tried doTERRA oils and was told that they were going to be really helpful and that I was going to notice a difference. They were right. I tried them. I had an incredible experience. But then my husband started wondering about the price tag. And he was like, I don't know, like, surely you could find essential oils somewhere cheaper, or surely let's try to DIY something first before we commit to something that is a little bit more costly. Mm-hmm. And I was like, well, I've never tried anything else. So I had a really good experience with doTERRA. I'm like excited to run in that direction. But if you think that we should be cost efficient, like, I'm on board with that. So we started ordering some oils off Amazon. And they were much cheaper than what I had been looking at with doTERRA. And so from his perspective, we were making a wise decision. And so my husband's incredible. If you haven't met him, he's incredible. And so he went and looked up on Pinterest, okay, how do I make the past tense doTERRA blend in like a DIY, ordered all the supplies and was like, I'm going to do this, whatever. So he did it all for me. And he was sitting at our kitchen table and was like making a bunch of roller blends all together. And I'd convinced him that if he went out and bought all these oils, that we should like make some to gift other people. And as we were filling up the roller blends, he had to take a break because his head hurt so bad. And he was like, dude, essential oils are intense. Like, I've got such a bad headache. Like, what's going on? And I was like, I don't think that's supposed to happen. Like, I'm not sure what's going on. And then he opened a brand new bottle of wintergreen. And wintergreen, if you've ever smelled it, is like a pretty intense smell, like very minty, right? Yeah. And he picked it up and was like, there's no smell in this at all. Like, and he was like, Kelsey, I think I was scammed. Like, I think I literally bought a bottle of carrot oil. And so he was like, okay, I think I'm starting to understand. Well, like, you get what you pay for or something. And so we just had so many incredible questions about like, why would I not buy oils off Amazon, or why would I not buy a cheaper brand, or even a different brand? And so like, people have just been wanting to know more about why doTERRA. And so that's the question. So long story short, my family and I looped back to doTERRA, obviously, and realized that we'd found a good thing the first time. And we learned our lesson of not just being able to trust just anything that says pure essential oil.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
So I feel like, sometimes, especially when we're on Zoom and we have the opportunity to do things a little bit more visually, I feel like there's a couple short little videos that I want you guys to watch with me, so that you can just kind of even see the process that doTERRA goes through to go from the plant that is being harvested into the bottle that you get to purchase. So watch this little video with me.
What is purity? Is it the absence of contaminants? Something pristine, unadulterated? Or is it the way we treat others, the conditions on which we give? Is purity a love the kind felt for a distant community as if it were a close-knit family? Or is it the will to do good for no other reason than because it's good? Is it honesty, fairness, good character? One thing's for sure, purity is not easy. The pursuit of purity requires more than just conviction. It means rejecting even the thought of cutting a corner. It means doing what's right, even when what's right is what's seemingly insurmountable. We are more than just an essential oils company. We are in the business of empowerment. Everything we do is designed to open opportunity. Whether it's a farmer inspired, a mother assured, an athlete emboldened, or an entrepreneur on fire. This is to empower through purity. It's why we don't just buy farms, we build farmers. It's why we don't just see another's potential, we make sure they see it themselves. It's why we turn wellness advocates into advocates of change through our product as well as our purpose. It's why everything we do is designed to empower others. And best of all, we're not alone. So let's pursue together. Let's pursue healthier families and happier communities, kinder interactions and stronger connections. Let's pursue understanding and common ground, humility, empathy, and charity. Let's pursue being the difference that makes all the difference. Let's pursue a smile on the face of everyone we meet and a positive impact left behind everywhere we go. Because when the pure gifts of the earth are paired with the pure love of each other, there is no telling what we can achieve. doTERRA, pursue what's pure.
Okay, thanks for watching that with me. I feel like we don't just buy farms, we build farmers. I feel like that just really sticks out to me of just helping family-owned businesses grow.
Yes.
Okay.
All right. Well, thank you, Kelsey. I love what you shared about your journey. Mine is probably a lot more straightforward. I never dabbled with other brands. Maybe that was just the Lord leading me in that direction because he knew that was what I needed, the road I needed to go down. But I love that sometimes we start off one place and then need to learn almost, right? Why? I get that. And I love that video too. It just kind of encompasses all of the three things that I'm going to talk about in one. But we do want to go through three main points of why doTERRA is different. And I know that sometimes it might seem that, you're getting an essential oil at $5 and at $30. Like, what is the real difference? Is it just somebody else is making that profit, right? Or in this case, it truly is you whatever you're gonna buy at a higher price, you get what you pay for, kind of thing. So we're gonna look a little bit deeper into that. So first off, it's just the sourcing, because going back to the basics of an essential oil, okay, it's very potent. It should be very potent. So it really matters what you start with when you think about how potent an essential oil is. And so if you're taking pounds and pounds of a raw product and making it into a very small amount of an essential oil, then you have to think, okay, well, whatever you start with really does matter because you're really distilling it down to a very small amount. So it does matter what you start with. And if you just even think about like food, sourcing different food, I mean, it does matter where that comes from. Sure, a blueberry that's grown in your backyard, it can be delicious, it can be nutritious, but just think about it in contrast to, like, I just think about blueberries in Maine. Like, we've always heard those are the best blueberries. It just kind of goes back to that same thing. Whenever the soil conditions and the temperature and the rainfall and the humidity, all of that lines up, you really have a much more superior product when it's grown in a place that all of those things line up. And that's kind of what we call sourcing indigenously. That means where the plant is most going to thrive in its natural environment without any fertilizers, without any extra, watering, like anything. Nothing needs to be added to that. And so you're not going to find that all in the United States, right? We have to go worldwide to find some of these different regions where the temperature and the rainfall and the humidity are different. And so that's exactly what we do. And if you can look on the screen, of course, you can see this is just a small snapshot of where some of the oils are sourced from. And they're constantly looking to see, even how, just for instance, frankincense. Obviously, we have more so known and heard about it from Somalia, but it can also be grown in India as well. And so sometimes it might be multiple areas in the world that we can get different varieties from. And they're constantly looking at also sourcing in a way that isn't going to strip that area of all of those natural resources, right? We're looking at longevity. That's a really big thing when you think about essential oils as well, because of course they are so much more popular now. And so they want to have that stock, right? They want to have that longevity with the stock of the essential oil, but they don't want to do that and compromise the actual, integrity of the plants in that region either. So there's an interesting dynamic there, but I just love that doTERRA is always looking to take all of that into consideration, not just how can I get the best product to market, because while that's a great feat, a lot of other things go into that as well. So sourcing really, in a nutshell, you want to go wherever the plant is grown, and it is growing indigenously because that's going to be the highest quality plant because of the soil conditions and the rainfall and the humidity and things such as that. Next slide. So that's the first thing that really separates doTERRA from other brands. But with that comes testing, because that sounds all nice, but how do you know that this product is what it says it is? And that is through testing, because when you look at different tests that are performed on an essential oil, you have the different chemistry profile. And so that's how you can really tell if an oil is what it says it is, because there's a baseline for that. And I know this is often might seem like, oh, well, they can just make up whatever they want to and call it pure. But you have to go back to the chemistry of the plant. And is that what, when an oil is tested, is it comparing, right? Is it way different? So that's very important in this whole process. And this isn't cheap, right? That the video even said that, this whole process is not cheap. And so that, of course, is reflected in that price. All of this goes into that. But testing is very important. And over 50 tests, these are not just like a handful of tests. This is very intensive tests to make sure that the quality is there, yes, but also the consistency. Because if you think about testing bottle after bottle, batch after batch, you want that consistency. That is what is going to allow you to be able to do different clinical trials, which is very important to one of their missions, which is changing healthcare. doTERRA is a very science-focused company, which I think is very different to a lot of maybe other essential oil companies that are they're in it because it's popular. And I don't mean that in an ugly way, but that's just how it is. doTERRA is in it, obviously, for a lot of different reasons, but one of those reasons is because they want to change healthcare. And the way that you do that is you have to prove that at some point, right? We're all about studies in the healthcare world, good or bad, right? There's some good and bad things to that, but you have to have that consistency to do those clinical trials, to get dosing, to get efficacy, to get just a lot of different things that are needed to really bring oils to the healthcare that we know today. So testing is very important for that reason, but also just for transparency. And this is going to be something that's very different with doTERRA as far as other companies. Other companies might do testing, probably not as much, but they're definitely more likely not going to show you those tests. So you can actually go to sourcetoyou.com and see testing on every single bottle of essential oil. There's actually a number barcode label on the bottom of the doTERRA bottles that you can go and then go to this website and then type in that, and it'll show you all of the testing done on that bottle. That is unheard of. They're literally giving you the keys to go in and investigate this if that's, you know, something that you like to do and want to do. But that really shows the integrity that they have. They're not trying to hide anything. They really want to pass on that information to you, because it is important when you think about, again, going back to how potent an essential oil is. You only need 1 or 2 drops at a time. The purity matters in that. And so testing is something that's very integral to this process. Next slide. So we have sourcing and testing, and then we have the co-impact, the impact of this whole process. And oftentimes you will hear this called co-impact sourcing. So, you know, sourcing and co-impact, they go together, but this part is something, to be honest, that they don't have to do. They could go in and get what they need and get out. But this goes back to that integrity piece, in my opinion, because whenever you go into these regions, like these are remote regions. These are third world countries that don't have many other ways to make a living. And unfortunately, for so long, they've been taken advantage of because of the, obviously, like there's just one thing that grows in their village, and they, you know, that a lot of essential oil companies know that, right? They go in and try to pay the least amount that they can and make the most profits off of that. And so doTERRA really wanted to change this model. And so the way that they've done that is fair pricing for what they are getting, right? The raw product, the oil, and then the fair pricing and wages, of course, for the people that are out in the field doing it. And they're going to give it to them right then. Oftentimes what would happen is companies would come in, they would collect payments, and then it would be like weeks or months before they would get payment on what they gave, you know, to the company as far as the oil. And so they actually have ways that they can pay them right then, which is really important for these people, right? They have no other way oftentimes to make money. And of course, in these remote regions, they don't have access to sometimes even running water, basic needs for survival. And so they have just, there's so many beautiful stories of how doTERRA has come in and really helped these people. Just like the video said, it helps them to cultivate what they have available to them and cultivate that for their kids as well. And so this is like more of a legacy thing they can leave to their kids as a way to provide income, but also this beautiful product that we get to benefit from. So I think we're gonna watch this short video just as an example. There's so many of these on YouTube. I would encourage you to go watch some more of them.
Yeah, I'm excited about this one because this one is in India.
Oh, yes. Lemongrass.
We've just finished hiking up 5 miles up the mountain. We're at 8,000 feet elevation. This is another area that these tribal people harvest lemongrass. And it takes them about 5 to 7 days to be able to harvest this 100-acre plantation. And they harvest by hand, by sickle, and then take the lemongrass and actually carry it off of the mountain 5 miles down on top of their head. So you can see this is very, very hard manual labor. This is what they have done their entire lives. And they do this to be able to provide for their families.
പുല്ലുവിത്ത് മണ്ണിന്റെ അടിയിലാക്കിയാൽ ആക്കി കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ മഴയൊക്കെ കഴിയും, മഴയൊക്കെ പെയ്യും. അപ്പോൾ പുല്ല് കിളുത്ത് വരും, പൊടിച്ച് വരും. പൊടിച്ച് 2 മാസം കഴിയുമ്പോൾ പിന്നെ ഇത് മുറിക്കാം. മുറിച്ച് പിന്നെ ഇതേപോലെ വാറ്റി തൈലാക്കി, അതാണ് ഒരു ജീവിത മാർഗം.
The reason we've chose southern India is because of the higher rainfall that is in this particular area, which creates a higher citral content in our lemongrass, which makes it a very superior lemongrass for our use.
And once we distill out the we could get the crude oil.
which we've been given to the manufacturers, the lemongrass oil. Actually, they do decantation, filtration, they also do blending, then, QC tested in different labs to find out the right compositions, and then they, there are a series of testing before we qualify that for a particular export quality.
When we distill the product out, we should get the product in a beautiful nature way and the best of the nature which it gives. So we can present all in the nature's best way what is doTERRA is looking for.
I love that you found one from India.
Isn't that fun?
Yes. So that just makes me think that so often in this world in general, we want to take and take and take. And I just love that. Well, yes, we are taking something, we're also giving a lot, and that matters. So over and above the quality issue that there is with so many different oil brands, there's this, which is the heart behind, what doTERRA is doing. And there's much work to be done, but we need to love people along the way. And so I think this show is just a little glimpse into how they do that so well.
So good. Okay, and then I just wanted to even share a little bit about even kind of in that kind of to wrap up the story I shared at the beginning of us like having that first touch with doTERRA, and then just kind of wondering like, should I be cutting corners? Should I be finding something that is cheaper or whatever? And as we kind of realized that we could trust doTERRA, we could trust the testing, we could trust that using an essential oil that the past tense blend, what I was referring to was the blend that I used to relieve headaches. So the fact that my husband was trying to buy some cheaper oils and make a blend that ended up giving him a headache, we learned that the first experience that we had really was worth the money, what we were paying for the bottle of tested, well-sourced oil. But then the more that I learned, even just about like Kari was saying, because they're so pure and so potent, I didn't need to use a ton of the oil for it to give my body what it needed to for whatever purpose I was using it for. And so each 15 milliliter bottle has about 250 drops of oil in it. And so when I just started even thinking about it, like, okay, I put, there's a couple oils that I use a drop or two in the morning and a drop or two at night. It's like, okay, like then I can even just do the math of how long is this bottle lasting me? And it's lasting me a long time. So they really are cost efficient when you think about that. And then as I started learning more about the oils through our educational groups and through asking different questions, I was able to say like, oh, I have this bottle of lemon oil that I got in my kit, my starter kit, or that I bought individually, or maybe it came free one month with one of my orders. Oh, I can use that oil to help make cleaning supplies for my kitchen, or things like that. And so the oils that I already have now, I'm actually able to use to replace different items in my house that I was already buying. And so there are ways that they have just been a blessing to my family financially in that way also. And then, just remembering, like I said, that just less is more. So I could buy a more costly bottle of oil and use it really fast, but there's just really not any reason to, because they are so potent and they're so effective that my body literally can't like metabolize them fast enough for that to make sense. So 1 or 2 drops is going to go a long way. 1 or 2 drops in my diffuser, 1 or 2 drops on my body really are doing it the cost efficient way is actually the smarter way. Instead of, dumping a whole bottle on myself all at once. It's just not even smart. So.
And it might not even work if it's not pure, right?
Right. And so, so if I've got this like less costly bottle of oil that's maybe I don't have any proof or any tests or any, you know, whatever backing it, I might need to use the whole bottle to get the same effects, because it might be diluted, kind of like that bottle of wintergreen that we bought, that it wasn't just diluted. They forgot to put the drop of wintergreen in it to fool us. So there's no fillers or carrier oils in these. Okay, so I wanted to make sure that anybody watching this gets to know, you know, okay, we came to this class and we learned about this, but what's next, or how can I get plugged in? And so next Wednesday on May 25th at 8 p.m., we're going to be hosting a Intro to Oils WhatsApp class. And so if you haven't been to our Intro to Oils class yet, we'd love to plug you in there. It's going to be a lot of like the same things that we're talking about tonight, but a lot more specifics for specific oils and how they can help you and how you can get them. If you're not already following me on Instagram, go follow me and I'll make sure that you get invited to that class, or reach out to the wellness advocate that invited you to watch this. And then, yeah, just how do I keep staying connected? Like, how do I actually get the oils? How do I do that? So the India market is actually opening in the next couple weeks. We're really excited. All the products are here in country now. And so in the month of June, we don't have the exact date yet, but in the month of June, people will be able to enroll as a doTERRA India customer. And so stay connected with us. And if I've kind of got a list over here on the right, but if you are a person that is like, I'm excited about getting a quality essential oils, either myself or the wellness advocate that invited you, if you do not already have samples from us or oils from us, go ahead and reach out and ask us, and we will make sure that you get what you need today. We won't make you wait. We'll go ahead and get you started, but we will be able to get you your own account in the next couple of weeks. And so that's going to be really exciting. And you'll be able to order directly from the website. We have education groups that we get people connected to. And so, like I said, like anytime I have a question about an oil or want to learn something, I can hop onto our educational group, and it's almost like Google, but for doTERRA. And so we are able to help you along the way and guide you as much as you want to be guided on your essential oil journey. Let me move this. There we go. There's also the option to be a sharer with doTERRA and to share your experience as you're trying out oils and loving them, experiencing them as you share them with your friends and family and people in your network. There is a way with doTERRA that you could actually be getting your oils paid for just by sharing the good experiences that you're having. And then there's also people that get excited about doing the doTERRA business and building or replacing their current income with doTERRA. And so we're available to help with any end of the spectrum that you might be on after watching and hearing about this video. And then lastly, we had some requests for an easy way to just even sum up how to talk about the difference between doTERRA. And so I made a little graphic that might be helpful for some of you guys if you want to screenshot this, or I can even text the original to you later. But I wanted to help have something that you guys could walk away with and say like, okay, this is the difference on one screen between doTERRA and maybe just any other oil. So that is all we have for this presentation, but I want to open it up to any questions we might have. And then if we don't have any questions, then I'll end the recording and we can chat. Kari, did you have anything you wanted to add?
Yeah, I'll just say I love this conversation because I feel like even now it's just becoming more and more important to know and not just think about quantity, but also think about quality. Just even with like food and products that we bring in our home and of course essential oils, I just feel like it's an important conversation. So just try to shift your mind to constantly, just trying to make good choices for all of these things. Because when you think about all that goes into that we've talked about, that goes into a quality oil, You're not just buying a quality oil, right? You're helping people make income the right way around the world. So thank you, Kelsey, for having me.
Yeah, it's good. Glad to see everybody. Is there any questions before I close on the recording? All right, I'll stop this.